Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video we'll do the questionnaire of chapter 18. Okay, this chapter is inspection, search and seizure. Inspection, search, seizure and arrest. So in this chapter there is no amendment, so we'll just directly we'll do the question answers. And yeah, you'll get the PDF link of this chapter in the description. In almost means not almost, in all my videos I attach the PDF link in the description. So even if I miss in that video, means even if I don't mention in that video that I've attached the PDF in the description, then also do check the description box. You'll always find the relevant PDF in the description. Okay, so let's start with the questionnaire. First one is, who can order for carrying out inspection and under what circumstances? Can any premises be inspected by CGST officer? Okay, yeah, I want to clear one thing. Sorry to disturb. Uh, Once you have revised this chapter, then only just solve this question answers, because it's of no use if you have not read that chapter, or if you have not revised that chapter from long time. So there is no use of solving this question. So once you are done with that chapter and it's there in your mind, all provisions are there in your mind, then also these questions are useful. Otherwise it's just like reading the answers and not, means if you're not able to recall the provisions, then means proper time should be given to that chapter. You have not revised that chapter properly. So just revise the chapter properly before solving the questionnaire. Okay, so first one is, who can order for carrying out inspection and under what circumstances? First we'll do the first part of question number 1. So what is the answer? Who can order for inspection? Remember that was we read this. Recall the provision. No officer below the rank of joint commissioner can order for inspection. Okay, he'll authorize the officer. See the answer. A joint commissioner, no officer below the rank of JC, means JC or higher authority. That indirectly means JC or an officer higher in rank. So that only they have written. A joint commissioner or an officer higher in rank can give such authorization only if he has reasons to believe that, when he gives the authorization, means when inspection is carried out, when he has reason to believe that A, B, C has taken place. First is, the taxable person has done one of the following, means the taxable person has suppressed any transaction of supply of goods or services, he has suppressed stock of goods in hand, he has claimed excess input tax credit, or he has contravened any provisions of the act to evade tax. Okay, suppress the transaction, suppress stocks, claimed excess credit, contravene the provision. Okay, second point is, point number B is, any person engaged in transporting, or if he has reason to believe that any person engaged in transporting of goods has kept goods which have escaped payment of tax, or has kept in accounts or goods in, or has kept his accounts or goods in a manner that is likely to cause evasion of tax, whether or not he is a taxable person. Okay, he is transporting goods and he is keeping such goods which have escaped payment of tax, or he has kept his accounts or goods in such a manner that is likely to cause evasion of tax, whether or not he is a taxable person, then he'll carry out inspection. Okay, and he'll authorize the officers. Next one is, if he has reason to believe that an owner or an operator of a warehouse or a godown has kept goods which have escaped payment of tax, or has kept his accounts or goods in a manner that is likely to cause evasion of tax. Okay, same thing is that owner or operator of warehouse or godown, they have kept goods which have escaped payment of tax, or kept his accounts or goods in a manner that is likely to cause evasion of tax, so he can order for, means he can carry out inspection. So 3 circumstances are there. Now look for the second part of question number 1. It's written here, can any premises be inspected by CGST officer? Obviously, means if he finds necessary, then only, then he'll inspect the premises. See the answer. Access to business premises, yeah, he can do so if he finds it necessary. Okay, see the answer. During the course of any inquiry under this act, the duly empowered officer can have access to any business premises which may be required for the purpose of such inquiry. Okay, during such access, the officer can inspect the, what he can inspect? He can inspect books of accounts, documents, computers, computer programs, computer software, and such other things as may be required. It is the duty of the person in charge of such premises. What is his duty? His duty is to furnish the required documents. Similarly, person in charge of business premises are also duty bound to furnish such documents to the audit party deputed by the proper officer. Okay, he is duty bound to furnish those documents to the audit party who is deputed by proper officer, or the chartered accountant or cost accountant who has been deputed by the commissioner to carry out special audit. We all know that to carry out special audit, commissioner authorized chartered accountant or cost accountant, they carry out the special audit. So person in charge of business premises are duty bound to furnish those documents to CA or cost accountant as well. Okay, the following records are covered by this provision and are to be produced. What are the records that are covered and that are required to be produced if called for? Those are: number one, the records prepared and maintained by registered person and declared to the proper officer in a prescribed manner. Okay, next one is trial balance or its equivalent, statement of annual financial accounts duly audited, cost audit report if any, the income tax audit report if any other relevant record. So in short, records, trial balance, annual financial accounts, statement of annual financial accounts, cost audit report if any, tax audit report if any other relevant records. So these are the documents, these are the records which are covered by this provision, and these are required to be produced by the person in charge to the authority who asked for it, to the proper officer or to the audit party deputed by proper officer to CA cost accountant. Okay, person in charge is duty bound to furnish this records to them. So this completes our question number 1. Now question number 2. Who can order for search and seizure under the provision of CGST Act? Same authority can order for search and seizure. Okay, means no officer not below the rank of JC can order for search and seizure. Now when this situation comes, let's see the answer first, then you will understand who can order for search and seizure under provision of CGST Act. Let's see answer number 2. Okay, this much is the answer. During such inspection, if any goods which are liable for confiscation under the Act are found, or any documents, books or accounts are found which may be useful for the department in the proceedings. Okay, if any goods are found that are liable to confiscation, and if any documents, books or books of accounts are found which may be useful by for the department in the proceedings for the demand of tax, then the officer conducting the inspection could search could search and seize such goods, documents and goods. The officer who is conducting the inspection, he can search and seize such goods, documents and books. Which goods? Which are liable for confiscation, and such documents, books which may be useful by the department, which will be useful for the department for determination of tax. Okay. So question number 2 is done. Question number 3. What powers can be exercised by an officer during valid search? Okay, exercise of powers by officer. Answer number 3. Yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. These all answers are not given in the institute study material. In the institute's PDF, what was given, just this 5 questions were given. In answer, they just wrote refer para this, refer para this. These all answers I have extracted from the main portion. Okay, this all. So, and these all are the relevant answers, don't worry. Okay, answer number 3. Powers of officer during search. An officer carrying out a search has the power to search for and seize goods which are liable to confiscation, and documents, books or things relevant for any proceeding under the Act from the premises searched. Okay, he can carry out search. He has the power to search for and seize the goods and documents which are relevant. Okay, however, means he'll search and seize the goods which are liable to confiscation, as we studied in answer number 2, and the documents, books or things which are relevant for him, he'll seize that from the premises he's searching. Okay, now however, if it is not practicable to seize any such goods, then what happens? That the same may be detained. The person from whom these are seized shall be entitled to take copies or extracts of seized records. During search, the officer has the power to break open the door of the premises authorized to be searched if access to the same is denied. Okay, first is mentioned that the registered means the person who's from whom these are searched, they can take the copies of it, and if the access is denied to the officer, then he can break open the door of the premises. Then what is given, similarly, while carrying out search within the premises, he can break open any almirah or box as well if access to such almirah or box is denied, and in which any goods, accounts, registered or documents are suspected to be concealed. If officer suspects that any documents, books or registered are concealed in that almirah or box, if access is denied, then he have that power to break open any almirah or box. He can also seal the premises if access to it denied. Now, the seized documents, books, or things shall be retained only till the time the same are required for examination, inquiry, or proceedings. Okay, maximum time limit for retaining these all documents, books, and things are these. The maximum time limit is the time which is required for examination, inquiry. Okay, and once the proper officer purpose is served, then he'll return that. And if these are not relied on for the case, then the same shall be returned within 30 days from the issuance of the show cause notice. If proper officer finds that he cannot rely on these documents, books, or things, then he'll return that within 30 days from the issue of show cause notice. And if proper officer finds that he can rely on these documents, books, or things, then he'll retain only till the time the same are required for examination, inquiry, or proceedings. Okay, so this completes the answer number 3. Let's see next answer question. Question number 4. What are the duties of the person to whom summon has been issued? You can answer this question from, without reading the answer also you can answer this. Duties of person is to present by person, or he can present as the authorized person, and he is bound to state the truth, and he is bound to present all the documents and everything which are asked for. See the answer, question number 4. See answer 4. It's written here. Responsibilities of the person so summoned. A person who is issued summon is legally bound to attend either in person or by an authorized representative, and he is bound to state the truth before the officer who has issued the summon upon any subject which is the subject matter of examination, and to produce such documents or things as may be required. Okay, he is bound to attend either in person or by authorized representative. He is bound to state the truth, and he is bound to produce such documents or things as may be required. Okay, now next one, last question, but in this 2 questions are there. So first we'll do the first part. What is meant by the term arrest? So let's read what is meant by the term arrest. The term arrest has not been defined in GST Act. However, as per judicial pronouncements, it denotes the taking into custody of a person under some lawful command or authority. Okay. In other words, a person is said to be arrested when he is taken and restrained of his liberty by power or color of lawful warrant. Arrest can be carried out only where it can be carried out only where the person is accused of offences specified for this purpose, and the tax involved is more than the specified limit. Means when the person is accused of offences and the tax amount involved is more than the specified limit, then he can be arrested. Further, arrest under GST Act can be made only under authorization from the Commissioner. Okay, whenever the Commissioner has reason to believe that any person has committed any such offence, he can authorize any other officer subordinate to him to arrest such person. Means authorization of Commissioner is necessary to arrest any person. Now, what is given? Various offences committed in connection with evasion of tax are also punishable with imprisonment, for which purpose the offender has to be prosecuted before appropriate court. The nature of offences which are thus punishable with imprisonment are prescribed in section 132 of the Act. Okay. Now let's do the second part of question number 5. In second part, the question is, when can the proper officer authorize arrest of any person under CGST Act? When he can authorize? See the answer. Authorization of arrest by proper officer. The Commissioner can authorize an officer to arrest a person if he has reason to believe that the officer has committed an offence attracting a punishment prescribed under section 132 subsection 1 clause A, clause B, clause C, clause D, or section 132 subsection 2 of the CGST Act. Means as we read in the definition of arrest, it was given there that if the person has committed any offence and if the tax amount involved is more than the specified limit, then the Commissioner can authorize an officer to arrest that person. So that the same thing is written over here. If he has reason to believe that the person has committed offence prescribed under these sections, then he can authorize. And see, they have said about the limit also. The detailed provisions relating to section 132 have been discussed in detail in chapter 17. We ignore this line. Then this essentially means that a person can be arrested only where the tax evasion is more than 2 crores. Now over here the limit is given. If the limit is tax evasion is more than 2 crores, then proper officer, means then Commissioner can authorize an officer to arrest such person. However, the monetary limit shall not be applicable if the offences are committed again, even after being convicted earlier. That is, repeat offender of specified offences can be arrested irrespective of the tax amount involved in the case. Okay, so if he's a repeat offender, then he'll be arrested irrespective of the tax amount involved in that case. It means even if the tax amount involved in case of repeat offender, even if the tax amount is less than 2 crores, then also he'll be arrested. Okay, so this completes our questionnaire of chapter, this is 18 I guess. Yeah, question of chapter 18. Okay, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, and if you want to solve DT illustrations and exercises, then please do check out the link given in my description box. Okay, those are the ICS study material question answers, and those are very relevant for the exam. If you want to solve those, you can check out those videos. Okay, DT question answers are uploaded in another channel. Okay, you'll get the link from the description box, so you can check those videos. And do wait for my next video. Till then, stay healthy, stay happy, be a real human being, and spread lots and lots of love. Happy studying. Bye bye, take care.